Now, in Hong Kong, police appear to be cracking down on the opposition with the arrest of two high-profile activists. In just the past couple of hours, Agnes Chow has been detained. She was one of the original organisers of the umbrella protest movement and ran for the Legislative Council. Earlier, authorities raided the offices of Apple Daily newspaper and arrested its publisher, Jimmy Lai. The 72-year-old business tycoon has been an outspoken critic of both the Beijing and Hong Kong governments. Both have been charged under the controversial new national security law for allegedly inciting secession and colluding with a foreign country. Benedict Rogers is the co-founder and chair of Hong Kong Watch and joins us now from London. Well, hello there to you. Many thanks for joining us on the programme. Now, Jimmy Lai does seem to be one of the most high-profile arrests so far, and he has been arrested for alleged foreign collusion. What kind of sentencing could he face?
Well, potentially under this very draconian new national security law, which was only imposed on Hong Kong at the beginning of July, potentially he could face life imprisonment under the charges. Now, that doesn't mean he necessarily will, but that's what he could face.
OK, and then we were just also talking about Agnes Chow. Now, she was one of the youth leaders in the umbrella movement. Now, she has also been arrested. Now, does this mark for you basically China's intention, determination, let's say, to stamp out all pro-democracy activism now in Hong Kong?
Yes, it does. It marks an extremely dark day at the end of a year of many dark days for Hong Kong. It certainly signifies Beijing's intent to suppress all forms of dissent and activism. And in particular, it's a real assault on press freedom in Hong Kong, because Jimmy Lai was the founder and proprietor of the Apple Daily, really the only Chinese language mass circulation pro-democracy newspaper. And of course, we saw not only his arrest, but 200 police officers raiding the newsroom of Apple Daily and arresting some of Jimmy Lai's colleagues as well.
So you're just talking about the press freedom there. Is there any news outlets that are still functioning in Hong Kong, that can still function, that are free?
Well, it's becoming increasingly difficult. I mean, there are smaller publications. There's the online English language publication, Hong Kong Free Press, which does very courageous work. And Apple Daily itself, at least from what I've heard earlier today, wants to try to continue to fight on. But it is becoming increasingly challenging. And those publications that in the past were freer have faced increasing pressure, self-censorship, and of course regular police assaults on journalists over the course of the last year during the protests. So press freedom is really on its on its deathbed today.
And when it comes to this new national security law, China has brushed off backlash by the international community to this. Is there anything the international community, can the international community do anything in some respects to make China rethink the application of this law in Hong Kong?
Yes, the international community certainly can do a lot more. We've seen some welcome steps from the United States in terms of targeted sanctions, from the British government in terms of suspending the extradition arrangements and making a very generous offer to British national overseas passport holders in Hong Kong, and other countries that have suspended their extradition arrangements. But I think what we now need is, it's clear that Beijing does not listen to statements, to strong rhetoric. What they respond to is strength and pressure. And we need free countries, the free world everywhere, to unite and act as robustly as possible to make it clear to Beijing that they will pay the highest possible price. So that means targeted sanctions of the kind we've already seen from the US, but coming from the UK, from European countries and others, on Hong Kong's leaders, Carrie Lam and other Hong Kong government and police officials, and officials from the Chinese regime in Beijing.
OK, so time to move beyond the rhetoric. Many thanks for joining us, Benedict Rogers.